For as much as I've been complaining about Pokemon Go in terms of their monetization and all the different things that Niantic has been doing, I've actually been having a really good year of Pokemon Go. My luck has been astronomical, and I will say that for a lot of the stuff that I've gotten recently, it has definitely kept me in the game. Alright, what's happening, y'all? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going fantastically well, and let's dive right into it. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a bit of a update on my own personal account. So, ever since 2025 kicked off, I feel like my luck within Pokemon Go has been astronomically high. Yeah, most recently with the Go Tour event, I actually had some pretty bad luck when it came to getting shinies of Kyurem. But I will say that because of some lucky trades that I got recently, I was actually able to get myself some decent Kyurems, and that's the first thing I want to talk about. When it comes to getting Kyurem, I feel like it was probably the biggest goal of mine for this year's Pokemon Go Tour event. I wanted to get myself high IVs of Kyurem, and fortunately, I was able to pick up a 93%. Where are you? Yeah, this is the one that I got from raid battles. You probably, if you saw my vlog for the Go Tour event, you would have actually seen me catch this particular Kyurem. So naturally, I fused it right away because I thought it was going to be the highest IV Kyurem that I was going to get, specifically shinies. I did pick up quite a few high IV Kyurems during the Go Tour event. I think I got more than one or two 98%. And some of them even had the special background, like this one right here. So yeah, I will say that in terms of IVs, I still lucked out when it came to this Go Tour event. But yeah, I will say that this was probably my best catch out of this Go Tour event. It was this 93%, and I will say because it has 15 attack, it was worth fusing, and it's definitely one I'm going to invest into. And then of course I did pick up a couple of more shiny Kyurems afterwards, and I was doing a bunch of lucky trades with those, and one of them yielded this one right here. This is a 96%. So I will say that ultimately my goal was achieved, even though the day of I felt like it was just a huge failure. So yeah, 2 high IV shiny Kyurems, that's going to be good enough for me, and I'm going to make sure to power them up. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, it was just after Fuecoco Community Day, and this is something that I actually picked up during this Community Day. It is a shundo. So I got myself a shundo Fuecoco during this Community Day. To me, that was such a huge surprise. I did not see a lot of 100% IV callouts this time around. And I do feel like for the 1 or 2 that I did go to, I feel like it was probably a long shot that I would get a shundo. But turns out the first one that I went to, there you go, it was a shundo. Always pay attention to your local communities, always pay attention to Niantic Campfire, because if people are pointing out locations for where there is a 100% IV, you might get really lucky and get yourself a shundo. And on top of that, the icing on the cake, I actually got myself a rank 1 Fuecoco as well, and this one was just simply through just checking IVs. And I was a little bit surprised because I did not expect to get myself anything that's worth PvP. Like, I did not really think that would happen, but yeah, I checked the IVs for all of my Fuecocos. I think I caught close to, I want to say like 500 Fuecocos just because of the Stardust bonus. It was pretty wild. One of them had the exact IVs for a rank 1. I was pretty happy about that. So I will say that Fuecoco Community Day was a huge success, but it doesn't just end there. Now, if I were to do a search for shinies and 4 stars, these are all of my shundos. You could see right here, I have picked up a shundo for Carablast, along with Gallade, as well as, oh my goodness, like, yeah, I was able to pick up so many shundos already so far this year. It's been such an insane year. Like, when it comes to shundos, this is like basically the one thing that I always look for when it comes to Pokemon Go. I think shundos are what really drives me to continue to want to play the game, because they're the ultimate collector's item. And the more shundos that I get, the better I feel about playing Pokemon Go. The more I feel motivated to get Stardust, the more motivated I feel to get Rare Candy XL and different things like that, so I could power up and max out all of these shundos. And I was lucky enough to pick up 4 of them already since the beginning of the year. That's pretty insane. And yeah, it would have been nice if I picked up a Shundo Kyurem. I think that would have been such a highlight for the Go Tour event, but if you do the odds, it's actually pretty hard to get yourself a shundo. Congrats to anyone who did get a shundo over the Go Tour weekend. I think it was a pretty big deal for anyone who did pick it up. And there were certainly people within my own local communities who were able to pick it up. So yeah, big congrats to them. But I will say that for myself, picking up a bunch of shundos this early on in the year, that's pretty insane. I feel like in the past, even with a whole bunch of different community days, it would take quite a lot to get myself a shundo. And this time around, I'm starting off the year with a bunch of them. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Now, what is my goal right now within Pokemon Go? What is my aim? Well, aside from collecting shundos, as of right now, my biggest goal is to get these shundos to best buddies. And that's going to require a lot of buddy friendship grinding. I'm already working on my Exegirl right here. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of grinding. And I feel like I'm going to be playing every single day in order to get my best buddies with all of these Pokemon. I plan to do it also for these right here, for the 2 Kyurem that I got. Like, want to get this one to best buddies, would like to get this one to best buddies, and get them those nice little best buddy ribbons. I think it's just a nice little touch that you could add to every single one of your favorite Pokemon. One thing that I do is that I sort by friends, or what is it? I sort by name, and then I have all of my favorite Pokemon at the top. This is something that I suggest a lot of people try out. You could go to, you could do a Google search for a tiny text generator, and then you could use that to create these little numbers. And then basically in the beginning of the name, you could just add it to the order that you want. And yeah, you can see right here at the top, I have my 12 favorite legendaries and the highest IVs I have of them. And then afterwards, I have a whole bunch of shundos, shinies, with high IVs. That's basically how I sort everything. And then, yeah, every time I open up my Pokemon collection, it's just like looking at my favorite Pokemon, and it just feels really good. So that could be something that you could do. I think a lot of players tend to sort by combat power, which is okay. I think that's typically how a lot of people do it. Sometimes people do it by favorite, some people do it by recent, but for me, I do this whole naming system, and it just feels good. So that's something you could try out. Yeah, so for right now, my immediate goal is to make best buddies with all of these Pokemon that I recently caught. And also, I feel like farming up Stardust is going to be a big thing. Oh, and one thing that I am going to try out this particular season is actually PvP. So I'm actually dabbling a bit with the current meta. I have myself this team right here. This is Malamar with a Clodsire along with Azumarill. It seems to be doing really well. I think my win rate is, actually, let's take a look. You can see my win rate, it's about 19 out of 25, and that's without any kind of tanking, like I'm just playing it fully legitimately, and I want to see how far I can go. I think the one thing that I've always wanted to achieve in Pokemon Go, it's probably the one thing I still haven't done yet, is hit Legend Rank, and if I were to hit Legend Rank this season, I feel like that would be it. That's the complete experience. I've accomplished everything that I could have possibly accomplished. So maybe this will be the season. I'm definitely going to grind it out. I think there's a lot of Pokemon that are really good right now in the current meta that I could try out. It's just going to require a lot of Stardust, and it's going to require a lot of grinding in order to get them powered up and get them ready for battle. So yeah, I think this season is going to be interesting. I think I'm actually going to try it out. And maybe I'll create some content for PvP. I do think that PvP content is kind of underrated. I think a lot of PvP YouTubers, they tend to be one or the other, like they tend to struggle a lot, or they tend to have a really strong audience. So, you know, it might be worth a shot. I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to PvP. I don't think I've ever won a single tournament. I don't think I've ever won any matches against other content creators. It's like I just do not get a lot of things with PvP. I feel like a lot of what I enjoy with Pokemon Go is just, you know, the stats game. You know, it's like the stats game. Like, I really care about raid battles, for example, because when it comes to raids, it's all about how much DPS you can do. And it doesn't necessarily involve a lot of technique. It doesn't necessarily involve a lot of strategy. It's just a matter of bringing the right Pokemon and being able to take down raid bosses as soon as possible, or with the least number of trainers as possible. That tends to be where I tend to cater a lot of my gameplay. But PvP is very dynamic. It's very complicated, and there is a lot of different things you can do to win a lot more matches, and it's not just about having the best of the best Pokemon. Just case in point, like, this is a pretty solid team when it comes to the current meta, but there are definitely teams out there that would hard counter this team. and there's nothing I can really do about that. It's just really depends on technique, and it depends on pre-planning and just anticipation and different things like that. I feel like those are a lot of things that I would definitely like to learn. It would definitely make Pokemon Go a lot more enjoyable and would produce a lot of longevity as well. So yeah, this is basically the current state of my account. I feel like there's a lot of really good things happening in the year 2025 compared to most other years. I think last year was a pretty bad year for Shundos, even though I did pick up this guy right here. This is probably my best catch of last year. This was my Shundo Necrozma. I picked it up at Pokemon Go Fest Global, and I feel like nothing really has beaten that experience yet. But this year might be pretty exciting. We are getting ourselves a new mythical along with 2 new legendaries with GoFest that was recently confirmed, and I'm excited to see what ends up happening. Maybe I'll pick up 100% of crowned forms Zacian and Zamazenta. That would be pretty insane. If there is the shiny forms for both of those Pokemon, maybe I'll pick up Shundos for them, who knows. But overall, I think this year is starting off on the right foot. And in spite of all of Niantic's misgivings and in spite of everything that they've done that players disagree with, I do think there's a way for you to make your own fun in this game. And for me, it's collecting Shundos and making them best buddies. That's basically what I find enjoyable. And then, who knows, maybe I'll really enjoy PvP after this season, who knows. I just want to try it out and see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Share me your wins. Like, what has been pretty awesome with Pokemon Go this year? Like, what is something that you got that you're really excited about? Or do you feel like it's been a bit of a down year for you? Like, there's nothing really exciting that you're catching. Niantic hasn't been doing a lot of good things with Pokemon Go, and you just feel like this is a year where you might potentially quit. Definitely share those thoughts down below because I'm very curious what you're thinking. And yeah, let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, if you want to support my content, the absolute best way you could do that is always going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list, just like, you know, all these people right here. Let me show you. So I have all these patrons, and you can see I try to focus on getting them gifts. I try to focus on opening up their gifts, and yeah, that's basically what I do in the game. I always prefer my patrons when it comes to raid invites and different things like that. So if you want to join any of these people right here, then yeah, go click on the links in the description below, go to my Patreon page, and do consider joining. And I will definitely add you to my friends list, and we could start playing together. But yeah, and if you want to support my channel in a different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That would definitely help my channel out a lot, and you'll have access to some exclusive content. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.